to Hunters TV, the show where we
force you to dream big, force you to master your reality, and force you to feel powerful.
I'm James.
I'm Boadi.
And I'm Shaka, Ptah.
Today we'll be talking about patience. Now, most people know the phrase patience is a virtue, but I think there's more to that phrase than just that. There's more to patience than what most of us might think.
Yeah, I think patience is one of those things where everyone has a very specific idea of what it means, but it's more of a concept than it is a specific understanding. What does patience mean to you, James?
Just to tag on what you guys were saying, excuse me. A lot of people think that patience is like, I don't know, just waiting and sitting idly and just letting life, like you said, like I don't know, like build upon it, right? Mm-hmm. Build upon whatever it is, whether it's like, I don't know, like patience. If my birthday is on the 25th and it's the 1st.
It's just waiting.
It's just waiting. People just think it's just going to come to you. But what I think it's preparation. Yeah. So you look at anything in life, we have to be prepared in order to actually see it through. Because patience is about sitting back and actually seeing something through. But if you're not prepared, then it'll never come. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with a lot of people. They sit back and they're like, all right, I'm going to just sit here, I'm going to be patient.
They want life to come to them instead of going to life.
Right. They want life to come to them, but you got to actively be doing something in that time. Mm-hmm. Because Mother Nature has its own set of, has its own set time, right? Let's call it that. The universe, yeah.
Exactly.
And I like what you say about that, just to touch on that a little bit. It's kind of like if you look at nature itself, there's pre-programmed preparation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like patience is built into life. You think about the concept of a baby, right? When a baby's born, every kid wants to be, 18. Can't wait till I'm 21. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I was with this family the other day, and the father kept talking to the little baby girl. Yeah. It's like, you want to sit up on the chair like a big girl? You want to go to the store with daddy like a big girl? Kept saying like a big girl, because when we're younger, we want nothing but to grow up, to grow older. But life knows that if you're born today and then all of a sudden tomorrow you're 21, you're not ready for life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're not ready. So what it does is it forces you. It teaches you without even indirectly teaches you patience. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, along the lines somewhere, that concept got construed, and most people think, wait for your time. Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. And patience is not about waiting for your time. Patience is preparing for your time.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is the universe knew, in essence, to prepare everybody, right? So that was the universe, in essence, like putting patience into our minds and our lives, right?
Right. I mean, you call it the universe, God, law of attraction. Everybody has different names for it. But whatever this game of life is called, or whoever constructed this game of life, placed that in there. You know what I mean? It's just one of those laws. It's just like the law of gravity, how that's just placed in there. You can't bypass it. You just have to go through it. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's pretty solid.
I think it's important for people, like you said, really to use the time. Like, how many artists do we know? How many dreamers do we know? And that we've met across this whole show, that it's like, okay, you want to get here. You want to get to point B. But what you have to be doing until you get there is working and earning it and growing. And I think the best point you've said so far is that people really do sit there and want it to just come to them. They hear the word patience and it's like, it's just going to happen. It's like,
right.
Prepare yourself right now, because the door will open. But what's the point of the door opening if you're not ready for it?
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, one of the things that I was doing research on, just to help hone in on this, was the concept of a diamond. Yeah. Most of us think that a diamond is just something that we just dig up, that has always been there, it's just there, and we're going to sell it off, make millions of dollars. But you think about, once again, how the universe, God, whatever, put this concept of patience into our lives. A diamond is just carbon that was pressurized in the Earth's core for 1 billion to 3 billion years. So that's a long time. But people get it, and they're so caught up in that instant gratification, that whole lifestyle of instant gratification. I want it now, and all of that. That they don't understand that patience is in nature. It's in everything. So if you don't have patience, and
it's part of every journey.
Right.
I'll say this: we all struggle with that.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. So we're not above any person, but we know that is something that's one of the virtues that you need right? You need to hone in on that, because I know for a long time, I'm even now, I'm the type of person, I want to go out, I want to make it happen now. I want to make it happen now. But what I'm saying is I'm trying to make it happen. I'm not waiting for it to happen.
Exactly.
And I feel like patience has you have to have you have to plan long term when you're being patient. You know what I mean? I feel like patience is more than just preparation. It's long term preparation. You know what I mean? Because you gotta look at it this way. Most people, you're planning to be whatever you're planning to be, right? I have an example that I want to give. So let's say they're two farmers, right? And they both want to plant an apple seed and bring forth apples. So the impatient planter will say, okay, I hope that this tree grows to become a magnificent apple tree someday. And now the patient planter, the one that thinks ahead, the one that thinks 20, 30, 40, 50 years ahead, says, this seed is going to be the reason why I become the biggest distributor of apples in the nation. You know what I mean? That's the difference. To me, that's the difference between being patient and being impatient or impatient. You know what I mean? Is that long forward thinking and that preparation that comes along with that.
Or you think about the Chinese bamboo tree. We were talking about this. You literally have to water it every day for 5 years. If you miss one day, it dies. That means you can't, sorry, water. It doesn't work that way. And it doesn't grow, not 1 inch, centimeter, whatever, millimeter, in 5 years. Like after watering it every day for 5 years, for the next, I think it's like 5 or 6 weeks, that you water it after that, continue to water every day, it grows 90 feet.
And that's how you got to treat your dreams. Every day you got to be working towards it, planting it, watering it. If you could do that for 5 years, say you had a dream and every day you did just a little bit for it for 5 years.
Right.
It'd be hard to believe.
Thing.
Exactly.
Talk on that, because I really like that.
Yeah, I love that.
Honestly, that's a thing for another episode. All right, the breaking the bank theory is this, basically. Every time you do anything, a positive work, a positive deed, you're literally depositing money into your bank. So, it's true. Come on, this is bad about this podcast.
Nah, you gotta tell it.
All right, so let me get into my zone. Let me get into Shaka Ptah real quick. Basically, every time you do something, it's adding money. You're depositing into your bank account. Life is looking at that and saying, okay, what you had to do is put $1 million in. When you get to your $1 million, that's when your dreams, your goal, whatever you've been fighting for is going to come to fruition. So when you don't even know what you're doing, if you open the door for somebody, life's like, oh, wow, that's worth 25 cents. You might be sitting down in your basement practicing your music every day for 2 years, and life's looking at that like, yeah, you know what, that's worth $5. You don't know how much, you don't know when, but one day it happens, you hit your mark, and then bam, everything that you've been working and striving for finally happens. And that's the thing about patience. You have to be able to instill that in everything that you're doing. It's a big part of it, honestly.
Right, and I agree with that, because everything has its time, and I feel like what I used to do personally was I would say, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Right? But then I wouldn't do anything to make it happen.
Exactly.
Or, sorry, not to cut him off, adversely, I would be like, okay, I want to make it happen now.
Exactly.
Right? And it's like you can't push it. Patience is tricky because you can't push it or you can't wait, right? So it's like the scale.
You just gotta work with it, and you gotta let it naturally.
I think it's about trust. The thing, you gotta trust yourself and trust the process, because honestly speaking, you can't make it happen any faster than you're ready for it. If a baby sat there and said, "Nah, I'm ready to be 27. I'm about to go out there and start voting right now," it's like, no, it wouldn't allow it. You're not ready for those things. So you have to be able to say, all right, let me ease it. But then you also can't sit back. And I think a lot of people, we talked about this earlier with a friend of yours, and it's like they sit back and it's like, well, it'll come. The job will just come, or college will just come, or it doesn't just come. Mm-hmm. You have to work for it. It is a part of it.
Right.
So I have a question for you two. Do you guys believe that you're patient people? Based off of our definition?
I'll say this. I learned over the course of time, I've learned to be patient. I've learned, like, let's say with this, like, we said it in one of the first commercials. This is 3 years in the making, right? Yeah. So that right there was us realizing that we had to get certain jobs. We had to have certain growth experiences. Mm-hmm. We had to meet certain connections, build relationships, etc. So when we did that, we were able to realize that, okay, we couldn't have this a year ago. We couldn't have this show. We couldn't have the whole concept, our knowledge now, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because of X, Y, and Z. So the fact that we kept on working towards everything, and kept on, I don't know, just pushing, and trust. Yeah. And we always trusted in our dreams. Then it was just patience, working in on us.
I've learned to just trust life in the universe, that even if I'm not being patient, even if I am pushing it too far, because I think that anybody that wants to really be successful, there comes a point where you do got to push it, and you got to keep trying, because you don't know when you got to be patient or you got to push it. But I do trust life that if I am going too far, if I am trying too much, it will take over and say, all right, I'm going to put the wall up for you. Right. So I feel like if you have that trust in life, you can also do it that way too.
And I'll say, to answer my own question,
nobody asked.
Right. I mean, nobody gonna ask me, so I'm gonna have to answer it myself.
I got you.
I just feel like I'm learning that process. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like it's one of those, because I really used to just procrastinate, because that's what that brings. It brings a lot of procrastination when you feel like, this is going to happen for me. I don't gotta worry about that. I got this.
I used to run into his room like, yo, let's do it. We gotta do this now. Like,
don't worry about this.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna
happen. He was like, but like, how's it gonna happen? You know what I mean? Yeah, now I understand that, just because I know that the universe has its own way of working. You know what I mean? And I respect that. Yeah. So whenever I come across anything that I have to do, or anything that I'm looking to do, I factor that into my equation. But what I didn't factor into my equation is the amount of work that I had to do myself. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't mean just because the universe is not allowing it to happen now, it doesn't mean that you just sit and be idle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly. And that's what I'm learning, and I feel like that's what I'm learning.
Sometimes you got to show the universe you're ready. And I think that's a big part of it too. It sits back, it's like its own life, its own entity, and it just watches you. And you have to show it. It's like, okay, listen, I'm going to go out here and work as hard as I can. Oh, maybe he is ready. Okay, let me come into it and open up some doors that weren't there before. And I think that's the other side of it. So
I like that. So I do. I like that a lot. So how did you guys find your patience? Like, if for viewers watching today, how can you tell somebody how to find their patience, or how to find that balance?
I mean, there's no nice way around it. You gotta fall. You gotta fall on your butt like all the time for a long time.
Yeah, hiney.
OD. And I feel like after a while, you start to look at it and say, you know what? Maybe I'm rushing it. Because things start to happen like randomly. Like, you'll be like, okay, I've tried to make this song 1,000 times, and then one day I wasn't even trying to make a song, and it just came to me.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes you just gotta trust that process, and eventually it just becomes second nature.
For me, I don't know. I just realized that as long as you keep on pushing, regardless, you may take 5 steps, you may take 1 step today when yesterday you took 5 steps, etc. But no matter what, if I do something today, it'll add to the value of just my overall goal, right? So that's how I add to the break in the bank. Maybe today I'll put in a quarter.
Exactly.
Maybe tomorrow I may want to put in a 50-cent piece, but I only put in a penny.
Exactly.
But it's still progress.
It's still progress.
So I think that's how I found my patience. Just realizing that every day if I do something, no matter what it is.
What I have to it.
Yeah.
There you go. I think that's beautiful.
No, I like
Answer your own question.
There you go, right? When did you realize?
Like I said, I told you guys, I'm just now learning that whole process. I'm learning that patience, it's a 2-part thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's one of those pre-programmed laws of life that we can't bypass, that we just have to abide to. You know what I mean? And I'm learning that as long as you realize that, and you realize that, you know what, this is a part of life. Yeah. Things might not happen when you want them to happen, but you have to be ready to handle that success. You know, it's a beautiful scene in, if you ever seen The Dark Knight.
I love that movie.
All right, beautiful scene. That's the one with Bane, right?
Yes.
All right. So
Bane, that's not the one with Bane, but the third one.
The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises. Perfect. So there's a scene in there. Where Bane is fighting. Batman takes Bane and Batman are fighting, and Bane says, "Oh, you think that you could take cover in the dark?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yo, I was born in the dark. You only adjusted to it."
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he was like, "You are now weak because you allowed your victories to defeat you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought that was so powerful,
so deep, yeah.
because that's what we allow to happen sometimes.
The Christopher Nolan. That's my
right. It's like you have allowed your victory to defeat you. So we gotta understand that just because things are going even when things are going the way that you want them to go, you still gotta keep doing the things that you have to do. You can't let your victories defeat you. You still gotta be patient and think long term.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I like that. I like that a lot. Any final thoughts before we wrap this segment up?
Be patient, but prepare.
No, I was gonna say last week we talked about the jump with Steve Harvey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that the big part in what he was saying was really it was about being patient because you're going to jump and the parachute is going to not open. Be patient.
You want it to open.
You want it to open.
Right.
Be patient. In that moment, be patient because eventually it will open.
That's what's up.
So guys, we have Stephanie Carlo. She's going to be coming on. She's going to be showing us how she's praying on her success. So definitely stay tuned, and we'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back, guys. We have Stephanie Carlos here with us, and she's going to be telling us how she's praying on her version of success. So without further ado.
How you doing today, Steph?
Good, how are you guys?
Good.
So tell us a little bit about you, Steph.
Yeah. So I'm 23. I just moved to Brooklyn from Philadelphia. I'm a dancer, model, and I also practice yoga regularly.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So, are you originally from Philadelphia, or?
So I grew up in Teaneck, New Jersey, and then I moved to East Stroudsburg, PA, and then I came to Philly.
Okay. How did you like Jersey? You remember it?
Yeah, I was young.
Oh, okay.
I was little, so I don't really remember too much, but I did love it.
Okay. You remembered that you loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So what took you to Brooklyn?
Opportunity, dance, modeling.
Okay, that's pretty solid. So right now, how are you being a hunter and praying on your success?
So my friends and I, we started a dance company, or a dance collective. We just found a really amazing opportunity to come together, create, and share our work.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
So, you said company, then you said collective. What's the difference?
I guess so. In the dance world, there's like a hierarchy. So there's the choreographer and then the dancers, and that's the company. But as far as us being a collective, it means that everybody contributes to the process.
Okay.
So we all choreograph, we all dance, and we all put in equal work and time.
Okay. So how many of them?
There's 6 of us.
Okay.
Is there any reason why you took that route as opposed to the traditional company route?
I didn't want to try to fit into this mold. I kind of wanted to create my own path and be able to be me and express me the way I feel I should.
Okay.
You know.
You don't want to be restricted.
Yeah, I don't want to be placed in a cookie cutter.
Right.
Okay, that's cool. So what's the greatest gift that you, before I even ask that, what's the name of your collective?
So we're Esk Dance Collective.
Esk?
So Esk is a suffix, and it can be attached to any word. So I guess when people see us, they could be like, oh, they kind of look alien-esque.
Okay, I understand.
Example.
Because people use Esk a lot. You know, so it's kind of clever. I like that. So what's the greatest gift that Esk can bring to the world?
Just that we're breaking boundaries.
Okay.
And kind of shifting the dance world right now. Instead of, being a dancer, auditioning for somebody and showing their work and showing, what the choreographer wants to say and do, we're all contributing to what we want as a group.
Okay. How many people are in it?
6.
6. And all you guys live in Brooklyn?
So we're all spread out in 3 cities.
Okay.
So there's 2 in Philly,
Take over.
2 in Brooklyn, and 2 in LA.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
And what's the purpose of, how are you guys trying to take over, like you said, take over? Like, how you guys getting your mission through in Philly, LA, Brooklyn? How's that happen?
So since we all graduated, we're really focusing on the concept of new beginnings. Since we're all starting fresh and starting our lives pretty much, we wanted to start exploring that and what that meant to us. So right now, each pair in each city goes into the studio, explores that through movement, talk it out, whatever. And then we're all going to film it and then use that footage. Like, say someone in LA does their thing. I can take the footage from LA, project it, and then have a live performance of the projection and then me. So that's our duet.
Okay.
That's nice.
That's clever.
That is.
I like that. So what kind of dancing do you guys do?
It's contemporary modern dance.
Okay.
But we're heavily influenced by Gaga technique.
And what is that?
So Gaga originated in Israel by Ohad Naharin. And it's more of like a movement language that focuses on sensation in the body.
You gotta dive into that a little bit more.
So it's like pushing you past your limit to exhaustion and seeing how far you can go past that mentally and physically. And then it's also just feeling like the sensation in your body through certain textures. So I could like an example, like I could imagine, like we talk about floating. So I can imagine that I'm in this pool and I'm floating.
Gotcha.
Or
and the pool would provide the texture. Okay.
And then it's like, or I could like imagine like there's a ball in me and it's going from here to here to here to here to here, and it like that's my movement that I'm focusing on.
Gotcha.
Is it like a native like spiritual type dance? Because that's what I'm getting. I'm getting like it's like the spiritual feeling.
I mean, it can be. People can take it there.
Okay.
It could be purely physical, but people can take it to another level.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. So, like, what motivates you and ask, or just you in general, for overall life fulfillment? What motivates you to get the things that you want?
I just feel like I have so much to share. I have like this natural drive inside me, and I have things I have to say and express. So I think that's what really gives me my force to do what I do.
So, like the need to have a voice. Okay. That's a new one.
All right, that is. So how do you react when sometimes you feel like that you don't have a voice? How do you push forward and let your voice be heard?
I just remind myself why I chose this field. I remind myself like how it makes me feel. I just remind myself of all the things that drive me, give me passion, excite me to continue.
Okay. So, what are those things? Like,
James doesn't let you off easy.
Right. What are those things?
I really feel like I have this light inside of me, this energy. It's like a vibration that I have, I feel. So I really try to like share that through dance, but just also personally with people. I'm really just passionate. I always have ideas. Like, I think I'm the one in the company who's like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And I have to like take it back. But I'm always like flowing and like thinking, and so I always like, I don't know, it's just like, I'm constantly stimulated and I have a lot to say.
So it's the energy, essentially. I like that.
So, I mean, we talked about patience today. So give us an example of a life situation that taught you to be patient. Just that taught you to be patient.
I just think it's very profound to me, at least, and affirming right now that you guys are talking about patience, because that's the one thing this whole week that's been popping up is patience. Just in my personal life with people and situations. So I think that patience to me is just coming in a form of just like putting in the work, allowing and trusting and having faith.
Okay. So is it something that you've always known, or is it something that you went through experiences and those experiences taught?
I mean, I think we all go through experiences, especially when we're young, and it's like, I want this now.
Right.
And then your parents are like, you gotta be patient. You're like, what does that mean?
Wait, ask me about Christmas time. Right, there you go.
Yeah, so I think just life experience has taught me to be patient. But off the bat, I'm an extremely patient person. I think just naturally, but.
Tell us more about this Gaga. How did you come to learn about it or want to study it?
So I had the opportunity with me and 2 other company members to study abroad in Israel.
Okay.
We heard about Gaga just through the grapevine because it was like this thing that's like the new wave in modern dance. And we wanted to take an intensive in Israel, so we thought, well, why don't we do the intensive and study abroad, like take the whole semester there.
Okay.
So we did that, and we studied Gaga pretty intensively for a couple times a week. And I think that really transformed us and shaped us into the company we are now.
So how many hours a day? Like
how many hours?
You said 3 times a week.
So probably about 3 or 4 hour session in one day. So
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is pretty intense.
So you guys had like gurus over there that like taught you how to dance Gaga, or was it just like? I don't know.
So in a typical Gaga class, there are no mirrors, and everyone just stands around, and the teacher's kind of in the middle.
Okay.
And they just start to explain, like sensations, like feel like you're floating, feel this, feel that, and blah, blah, blah. And you just go through all these levels for like an hour and a half. And then after that, we learned rep from Batsheva Dance Company. And there is Gaga, and Oha Naharim is the choreographer.
Okay.
Cool. So shout out to Oha.
Shout out to Oha. So where can we find Esk?
So we have Instagram at S Dance Collective, Twitter S Dance, and then Facebook S Dance Collective.
Okay. That's pretty cool. You got any other?
No, I'm just excited.
Okay, perfect. So lastly, in the show, what we like to do is we like to go to our special talent segment. Now, the reason for this is because everybody has this special talent, this thing that they love to do, that they kind of just keep to themselves and just enjoy it, within themselves. And we like to put the value in that because most of the times we take the value out of that because we do it so much. So we like to do that on the show and just to show everybody that everybody has that secret talent or that special gift or whatever. So what is yours?
Well, I could just improv, dance.
Improv. Okay. Okay, that's cool. So we're gonna set the stage for that. All right. Now we'll be right back. gangster-esque for you. Stuff. That was pretty impressive.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice to watch. It was different. You know what I mean? I've never seen anything like that before. And you know, you said that you guys have footage that we can take a look at as well, right? Yeah. So we'll find a place for some of that in this episode. All right. So once again, we really do appreciate you coming on the show and just sharing with us how you're praying in your success. We really enjoyed you today.
Thank you.
So before we close, everybody that comes on the show, they have a hunter's handshake. All right. So get up.
Now explain what it is.
No. It's like mind, body. Oh wait, mind. Sorry, I was messed up. Body, soul. All right, but it has to flow like that. There you go. Kind of like the dance, kind of like ask. All right, so mind, body, soul. There you go.
So mind, body, soul. Come on, we gotta get better. Mind, body, soul. All right.
Officially a hunter.
Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Bring us to Shaka Ptah.
Yes. And we have another amazing performance from the one, the only, Shaka Ptah. He's going to bring some more knowledge to you guys through his spoken word. So stay around. We'll be right back after these messages. Thank you.
They say the future's looking abstract. My people want they past back. Let's backtrack until we used to work until our back snap. Ask that. Indian, you know Iroquois and them Aztecs. And I'm feeling like a prophet. See the future all in those flashbacks. Nothing's changed. You can never take my life. My future bright, boy. You can never take my life. You got some questions, I can tell you what's up. They got a million different ways that they gonna tell you suck. They make us think it's alright. They say this thing is just life. Sometimes they say it's so nice, we actually think it's polite. They got their eyes down so low, they got their hands up so high. I try to tell them the truth, cause they be looking so blind, so blind. So blind, they got their hands to the sky, but they be looking so blind, so blind. So blind, too blind. March 4th.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of Hunters TV. I'd like to thank our special guest, Stephanie Carlos. I'd also like to thank Shaka Ptah for doing what he usually does. And today we talked about patience and the concept of patience. James, take it away. Bring on the key points.
You got it. So what we want you guys to take home with you today is that patience is not something you just wait idly by and you just let your goals just come to fruition, right? So patience is preparation. So just make sure that you find whatever it is, you see your end goal and you prepare every day, no matter how much preparation you do. You can do a lot of preparation today, but let's just say your schedule is that roadblock between your goals, right? As long as you do something, just move forward every day. And that's basically what patience is. No matter how long it takes, you move forward and you progress every day. So, I mean, that being said, that's just essentially what we want you guys to take away in a few words.
Another thing that I would like you guys to take away from today's episode specifically is the whole piggy bank concept that Shaka spoke on. As you keep filling that bank, eventually it is gonna break. You are gonna break that bank and you are gonna get to your dreams. But you can't fall short because you're not seeing the fruits of your labor. And I really want people to take that away from this episode as well. Lastly, we do talk about a lot of concepts on the show. We talk about a lot of concepts in a broad spectrum. We do that for a reason. We do that to show you guys why you have to have these concepts play a role in your lives, why it's important to have these concepts play an active role in your lives. And in very near future, what we're going to do is we're going to provide you guys with material that is going to dive into these concepts on a deeper level and explain to you step by step how to make these a part of your daily lives. And so just so there's no confusion, we will have that material for you guys in the very near future. So look out for it. And James, anything else?
So basically, once again, the talk show, Hunters TV, as far as the talk show, is basically just getting your feet wet to a whole different dimension in your brain. So once you get your feet wet with the talk show and learning how to feel powerful, breaking limitation barriers, finding your purpose, then your why, then the follow through, etc., then we'll, like he said, we'll be diving deeper and we'll be giving you steps on how to go through this action and actually bring it home. So that way you could get to the point of praying on your success. So, I mean, with that being said, we just want everybody to like, share, subscribe. Definitely tell a friend. I mean, we feel like it's powerful material that the world needs to hear. So if you can help us out with that, comment below and start a conversation. We would definitely appreciate that. So continue to be hunters and
praying your success.
There you go.